What is an afflatus? What? Afflatus. Spell it. A-F as in Frank. Glenn. F as in Franklin. L-A-T-U-S. T as in Tom. U. S as in silver. What is an afflatus? It is an imparting of divine knowledge, such as you get when you go to your sanctuary and you meditate and you listen to that great universe that is love. Margaret, you're right. That's all you do, is look into the situation and find the love in it. Tony Noble on Christian Science Sentinel Watch, discussing the huge problem of climate control. Hello.
Hello, Glendora. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
You sound like you're at the peak of a very happy life.
Did you forget to say anything like your name?
George McDermott.
Oh, hi, George McDermott. How are you doing down there, helping America?
Still fighting every day, Glendora. Still fighting every day.
I'm still trying to love every day.
You've been trying to what?
Love, L-O-V-E.
Well, I'm trying to love too, you know. I'm doing the best I can. I'm not getting in any fights. I'm not creating anything. I'm just doing what God has set for me, and that's it.
And what case are you working on at the moment?
Oh, gosh. I got the case of appeals in the United States District Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia against the controller of the Treasury and whistleblower action. I got a case in Elkton, Maryland against the state of Elkton, Maryland, in the state of Maryland on Sherry Evelyn's case. I've got another appeal at the District of Columbia for Roy Saxon. I just gave a case in the United States Court of Appeals for myself. And I just found out last Monday that my skating rink, which I was forced to turn over for $5 in 1995, is reopening after the media said it was closed and would be sold off at auction. So I've been pretty busy.
Have you been to court lately?
Oh, yes, I was. I was in court no less than a week ago.
And what happened?
I filed notice of appeal for the District of Columbia for Debbie Meat, and I had to file a Freedom of Information request with my the state of Maryland and the Prince George's County Records Division. So I've been just basically doing the same I've been doing for 20 years, 25 or 30 years now.
Is that all you did in court lately?
That's it. They won't let me in court anymore. Everything is dismissed with unsigned orders. They don't want me, other than the last time I was in May 30th when the judge threatened me in court.
Tell me about that again.
Well, they were sentencing Sherry.
No, wait a second. Who is they?
A phony state prosecutor, the state prosecutor, and the public defender got together, and they were trying to put Sherry Evelyn in jail.
Well,
silence her so she could steal the rest of her father's estate. And she had a hearing, and they wouldn't let her speak. They wouldn't let her put in any evidence. But she went ahead and spoke anyhow, and blurted out. So the jury found her not guilty, and then of the 6 and 7 crimes that they had alleged, and the state had brought in the sheriff, the state police officer who originally arrested her, and they wouldn't allow him to speak. They said, "We got enough evidence already. We don't want to use it." And the public defender said, "That's it." So they got one count against her, and on the 9th of June, they were holding a sentencing hearing.
Who is they?
This phony public defender and the state of Maryland's alleged agents.
My goodness.
And during the thing, they kept saying, "Well, you know, Mr. McDermott this and Mr. McDermott that and Mr. McDermott and Mr. McDermott." So the judge saw me right in the back of the courtroom after he sentenced her, which is a suspended sentence, and she has to go into court now. She has to pay $900 a month for an alleged misdemeanor offense to the parole board.
Well, let's go back to the original case. She had money, and who tried to take it?
Well, they did. I have absolute evidentiary proof that in 2014, September 2nd, her father died on the 29th of August. So on the September 2nd, a lawyer who her father had fired walked into the probate court and took out his last will and a testament and 8 codicils. They took them out of safekeeping. There's no signature of who authorized it to be taken out. There's no death certificate at that time. There's no nothing. And then he came back in later that day and put in a new will, naming him as the personal representative. And since then, they've looted over $18 million from her father's estate.
I want to again, who is they?
Okay. It's Chief Judge Keith Baines, attorneys Wilson, Rollins, Delmeyer, and Brown, attorney William Riddle out of Elkton, Maryland, and Scout Andreas Rogers out of...
And what town do they live in, dear?
Elkton, Maryland.
Where?
Elkton, Maryland. Andreas Rogers lives in Virginia. And what's happened ever since then, they put her brother in they had him arrested for trying to get into his own house that when his father left him. They framed him up, put him in jail. While he was in jail, in the detention center, the officers allowed him to be beaten so badly that he had to be emergency released, and he has mental and physical disabilities from that ever since that day.
What is his
in
name?
2015.
What is his name?
Timothy Charles Evelyn.
And he is the victim?
No, he's Sherry Evelyn's brother.
And I see. And how is he related to the money?
Well, he was an illegal heir. The house was left to him. But this ex-girlfriend of the father's got together with the attorneys before he died and took the safe deposit keys and went into his, checking he was dying of cancer. Without his knowledge, took safety deposit keys, went into a bank in the Columbia Bank in Elkton, Maryland, and stole all the contents of all the safety deposit boxes in 3 boxes.
And what town was this in?
In Elkton, Maryland.
Well, now you started with a woman as the victim,
Yeah, it's Sherry Ray Evelyn.
and she's related to Timothy as a sister.
Yeah, she's the original first child of James Ray Charles, who deceased. Timothy Evelyn, Timothy Ray Charles was a second marriage after his first wife died.
Do you know how much the estate was worth?
Yeah, over $18 million.
How much? 18 million?
$18 million. That's without counting the stocks and bonds and everything else. Because they never did an accounting of anything. He had I've got a video where they took his the father's 30-inch or 24-inch by 5-foot by 4-foot safe out of the house he was living in, and put it in the truck and hauled it off with all of his. They stole all of his guns, his furniture, stole everything he had.
No. This is terrible. Now, how did you meet the sister?
What, Sherry? She saw my website and called me in 2014, and I went up there to visit her. And I told her I'd come out and try to help her the best I could. And since then, I think I have been to court with her I've been to court with her every time, and I've got over probably about 78 times that I've gone to Elkton to help her.
And where do you live?
I live 120 miles south of her.
And tell us about your website.
It's secretjustice.com. It's a victim's website. I help people with no charge, for nothing. I help them navigate the corruption in the court system. And I believe right now I have roughly 51 families that I'm working with.
What is the name of your website again, please?
secretjustice.com.
It's a website.
It's a website. Secretjustice.com.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
And do you get any money to...
No, I don't. As a matter of fact, every time it goes up there, it costs right now, it costs roughly $100 to make the trip.
And nobody reimburses you?
No, I don't charge.
And what is your income every month?
$50. $1,500 a month from Social Security.
That's it.
And that's it right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was easier earlier when I had my company still open, but due to injuries, having a arm injury and major surgery and surgery on my knee, I can no longer work construction.
Oh. Now, didn't you tell me that in the court the judge says, is Mr. McDermott here?
Yeah, he stood up, he said, you know, this is after they got finished all their stuff. He said, well, Mr. McDermott, is there a Mr. McDermott here? And I stood up, said, yes, sir, I'm here. And he said, well, Mr. McDermott, you know, you better watch yourself. He says, you know, I could file charges against you, have you locked up for impersonating a lawyer. And I said, well, Your Honor, I said, quite frankly, you can't. You have no legal jurisdiction. You know you're a foreign corporation. You know you don't have any legal jurisdiction. And in fact, you, these two attorneys and your associates all should be locked up for what's after $18 million from the defendant's property, for her father's estate. And I said, you are the criminals. About that time, the bailiff comes running out from the back of the judge's bench and grabs me and snatches me up out of the seat. And you got to go. You got to get out of here right now. You got to go.
And so what happened, George?
Well, I went out in the hallway, and I stood out there for another 2 or 3 minutes until the case was over. But you know, everybody in that courtroom heard me. The transcript, and that was really the reason he had jurisdiction. And she had filed a notice of appeal prior to the hearing.
No.
And once you file a notice of appeal, the court can't move forward without the Court of Appeals' consent. That's a safeguard in our judicial system.
Would you mind going back and saying again what the judge said to you and what you said to the judge?
He said, Mr. McDermott, says, you better be aware that you know that I could have you arrested for illegal practice of law. And, you know, you are not to do this anymore. And then I replied to him and says, no, Your Honor, said, you are the one, and this court is the one who's illegally practicing law. You know that under the 1933, 45, and 47 FISA agreement, that all laws in the United States were terminated and turned over to the United Nations. And you and your associates are the ones that should be put in jail for the theft of Miss Ewan's father's estate of $18 million.
And then what happened?
Then they did, the bailiff came out. I should actually file criminal charges against the bailiff for grabbing me out of the chair and throwing me out the door.
Did he handle you? Did he touch you?
Oh, yes. You've got to get out of here right now. Right now.
And so you went out into the hall.
I went out into the public hall and you know, but again, the judge had no jurisdiction. The court had no jurisdiction because the case was, I personally paid for her appeal before she entered the court that day. I drove up there and I paid the money so she could appeal it. She filed a notice of appeal. She filed a motion to vacate and set aside the judgment for fraud on the court and by the court. And she filed a motion for a new hearing. He denied all 3 of them.
Oh, so once it went into the Court of Appeals, the local court had no jurisdiction?
Once they accepted that money, she did is she filed a motion to have to terminate her lawyer's appearance, public defenders, and the judge denied that. And struck the.
What was his statutory authority to deny that?
He had none. He had absolutely none.
And what is the name? What is the name? What is the name of this judge?
Keith Baines. He's the chief judge of the circuit court for Cecil County, Maryland. And the lawyer who stole the last will and testament is I guess a relative of the judge who first, in the district court, who first filed these phony charges against her.
And so go ahead, please.
On top of that, she has had no less than 5 out of state or out of the jurisdictions visiting judges, none of whom have produced their oath of office or their legal standing in the 3 years leading up to her sentencing.
And what is there?
And I witnessed every one of them being there.
I think you have to go over that one again, please.
I said I witnessed each and every one of those judges appearing without jurisdiction.
And what was their lack of jurisdiction?
A judge is elected by the citizens of the county, which is a sovereign community. Okay, these visiting judges that they're using in Maryland, which hear probably 40% of the cases, they get paid $650 to appear as visiting judges from another county. Even if the trial lasts only 10 minutes, that's what they get. And they don't have oaths of office in the county. And unless you've taken an oath of office, you're not bonded by the county. You know.
So this is another issue.
But it's all part of the grand scheme to steal, rape, rob, pillage the citizens of the county. Yes.
Now, when you were out in the hall after the bailiff handled you, where did you go after that?
I went outside and made videos of them. I made all kinds of videos before and after what was transpiring. And then after she came out, we went over to the U.S. District Court. We went to the land records. We went to the treasurer's office to get evidence showing that the properties were. He also, when he died, they said he didn't have any estate whatsoever. Yet they took $18,000 from his estate on the day that they transferred it and bought a $5 million surety bond. Malpractice surety bond that's been reported to the Justice Department and FBI. And I got copies of that. And so this was all pre-planned. And nobody's, all they're doing is this is how lawyers steal everything they can. And citizens are not given any rights in this country anymore.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, 99% of the people who appear to say 99.99% lose all their cases because the courts take care of their corporate lawyers and they do not adhere to their oath of office or the Constitution.
going to put that one aside for a while. Tell me what you did at the district court.
Well, we went to district court because we had to share go over and file at the district court. She had to go see the probation officer. Every other person in the probation system, for any offense similar to hers, they don't have to pay. They just call in once a week or once every 2 weeks and make the report. But because the public defender and the state's attorney, who was the lawyer for this guy, Leonard Wilson, who was his criminal defense lawyer in the probate fraud case, he got elevated to the state's attorney's office. So they're made as economic terrorism. They made her pay $900 a month to go in and tell them what's going on at the probation office.
On what grounds?
We still can't find out. On top of that, what's even worse than that is her notice of appeal that I paid for. He dismissed that in the state's attorney's office filed that afternoon, filed his notice of appeal. And appeal which shouldn't generally take 30 to 90 days. They just filed a motion for an extension of time. It's now in the Attorney General's office who's handling the appeal. So they can keep her economically terrorized. Right now she's living in a side house of the one her father gave to her and her family. He left them 3 pieces of property, all 3 have been stolen from the estate. And she's living in no more than a shack with no heat or no electricity.
Now, after you went to the district court, where did you go?
After I went to district court, we went to the county executive's office to get copies of the oath of office of the judges and to report the crime. And they wouldn't. No one there would see us. She went to the tax division and got copies of the titles to the 3 properties that were stolen from her, to show there's evidence of what was going on. And then I drove her back to her home, which is about 40 miles away. Every time she goes to court, it costs her $90 or more for taxi ride because her husband abandoned her, and the taxis charges $45 one way.
Oh, awful. Now, what is her name?
Sherry Ray Eveland, Eveland.
And she heard about you on your website.
She got in touch with me on secretjustice.com.
And how did her daddy make this $18 million?
He had multiple businesses. He was in stocks and bonds. He owned properties in West Virginia, Maryland, in Delaware, in Pennsylvania. He was a very wise businessman. I saw, I think it was 2010, he had his business planning advisor draw up a 50-page document showing his investments and how he could maximize his investments. he was very, very intelligent gentleman.
And so you
I,
drove.
met, I never met him because he passed away already.
And so you drove her home. And what time of day was that you got her home?
I think I got home about maybe 3 o'clock. We started at 9. And then I drove back to Washington. It took me almost 3 hours because of traffic.
Oh, really? What route was that?
I started out on 95, and I had to take some detours because of accidents. I had to get off 95 and go down 40 and then go through Baltimore and then out Baltimore Washington Parkway and around Beltway to my house.
And what do you think you spent on gasoline?
It cost me roughly about $70 round trip.
Uh-huh. Now, and that was what day, August 4th?
That was the hearing was September 2nd. I'm sorry, it wasn't September. It was
June. June?
June 2nd. The hearing was June, and the sentencing hearing was June 9th.
And so what have you heard since?
We called the Baltimore Attorney General's office and he said, well, don't worry about this. I'm going to take care of it. He says, we have all the time in the world. We're going to file for a postponement of this, having your appellee's brief due. And all the time that he's doing this, he's found he hadn't even, as of 2 weeks ago, hadn't even received notice that his office was going to be handling the appeal.
And what is the name of the Attorney General's office?
Brian Frost, he's a piece of garbage. He just got voted out of office.
And so, is there anything else you've heard from this case?
My computer's been down for the last week. It's in the shop right now. All my records and everything else are on that computer, so I can't go online and do anything. Hopefully I'll get it back today or tomorrow.
Do you think you will be able to retrieve your record?
He certainly retrieved it, but I had to have a new electronic hard drive put in it.
Will you be able to retrieve your record?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so is that all you've heard from that case since?
That's all that I've heard. I did hear from the U.S. From the D.C. Court of Appeals from the kids from Ray Saxon where they're trying to steal her $2 million house.
Well, wait a second. Is this the same case?
No, it's another case.
No, stop right where you are.
I haven't heard anything more. I need to go on Pacer so that I can find out the status of the appeal.
I see. Okay.
On a computer, I can't do that.
I see. You're waiting for. Okay. All right. And you haven't heard from her.
No, she had lost her phone, and she doesn't have a phone. She doesn't have a driver's license. I have a couple phone contacts for friends, but they all, once I call them, they can't get back until a day and a half later till they can afford to drive over to the country where she's at to talk to her.
Who are these contacts you've had by phone? Who are they?
They're some of her friends. I don't know all their names, but she borrows phones from them. When they come over, she borrows their phone and calls me.
Have you
I talked to her Thursday afternoon.
Have you heard from Timothy?
They came back.
Who is they, dear?
The state prosecutor, the state's attorney's office, and also Judge Baines is the one that had them put in jail illegally. probation hearing. He's been rendered totally incompetent. He can't hardly speak. He can't hardly walk. And they came by a week ago Sunday and picked him up and put him back in the detention center where he was almost murdered the first time.
Do you think it's real, or are they just lying that he's that way?
Oh no, I know he's real. I've seen him. I spoke to him.
And what is your opinion? Is he really incompetent?
Yeah. Yes. He's both mentally and physically incompetent right now.
Mm-hmm.
He can walk, but he can only walk, like a quarter step at a time. He always walks with his head down. He doesn't like talking to people. He can hardly talk.
Is his condition?
Yes.
Is his condition the result of the thievery?
But his condition was a result of him being falsely arrested for trying to get into his father's house, which his father left to him. She framed up by the people who stole his estate, and he was put into the detention center in Cecil County, and he was beaten almost to death.
On what? For what reason?
It was while he was in custody. They sealed all the records. He can't get any copies of any of the records of it.
What were the reason they?
After he got out of the hospital, they just released him.
Why did they beat him almost to death?
Because they wanted him dead. They want his father's estate. They don't want anybody to know what's going on.
But why did they beat him to death?
Because they wanted something. He was ordered to be abused because the officers who were overseeing him stood by and watched as he was being beaten.
What was the grounds for beating him?
When you're in prison, there's any number of grounds. You could touch a guy wrong, he wind up being beaten to death. You can look at him wrong.
You got to have a better.
If he's more powerful than you, they can beat you to death for anything.
Well, I think we need a better reason than that. Have you got a better reason?
Well, my whole reason is, 100% of my reason is, they wanted all three of the family members to be deceased or incompetent, so that no more court papers could be filed to expose this fraud and corruption.
Yes, I agree with you. This is very common. This happens over and over again.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's what you would call enforced incompetence. They force them to be incompetent.
Right.
And if they can't force them, they lie about it.
Right.
Okay, anything more on that case?
Not right now until I get my computer back. I can't check anything.
Okay, now tell me again the name of the court in Cecil County in Maryland. What is the name of the court?
Cecil County, Maryland Circuit Court.
The time is 10 o'clock a.m.
Would you repeat? Would you repeat?
Cecil County,
Would you
Orphans Court.
Would you repeat that, please?
Cecil County, Orphans Court. Cecil County District Court, Cecil County Circuit Court.
These are all state courts, state of Maryland.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what was the name of the judge?
Judge Keith Baines is the main criminal.
And what is the name of the bailiff? Do you know?
I don't know what his name was. No.
You don't know? Okay.
No.
All right. And what are the names again of the lawyers?
Well, you got Ellis Rollins was the state's Janice Grenadier at 9 o'clock at night in 2015. And the officer took the complaint reluctantly and said, this is a waste of time. I said, well, it's a formality. You've got to do it. We have to fill out these papers. So he took it and he says, I'll tell you right now, when I take this upstairs to Ellis Rollins is going to rip it up and throw it in the trash. So I got a video on that. Then there's Keith Baines, who after Ellis Rollins was removed from office by the state of Maryland for criminal acts, they appointed Keith Baines, who had no experience, to be the new prosecutor, state attorney. And then, while at that time, Ellis Rollins, Keith Baines, Ellis Rollins, Leonard Wilson, Keith Baines, and Lawyer Brown, formed a new partnership. And while he was prosecuting her, they formed a new legal group, and all of them were working with this other attorney I've seen him steal many, many hundreds of millions of dollars from other clients I've worked with up there, a guy named William Ribble. And they are untouchable. The FBI won't touch them. The Justice Department won't touch them. The Bar Association won't touch them. The Commission on Judicial Disabilities won't investigate. The Commission on the Attorney Grievance Commission won't investigate. The State Prosecutor's Office won't investigate. It's a big cover-up. If you're a lawyer and you have a bar card, you are immune from the law and from the law of common man. You are immune and can't be prosecuted for anything within Cecil County, Maryland, and most of Maryland is like those.
Are we through naming all of the people involved?
Without my computer, I can name well over another 100.
No, please don't. We're sticking to this case. Do we have any other names?
I'm talking about this case. This case is in the Maryland. It's been in the Maryland Court of Appeals, the United States District Court, United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, United States District Court for Virginia and Alexandria, Virginia, the United States Court of Federal Claims, and the United States Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit.
Do you comprehend that you have helped this woman?
Yeah.
And what has been your help?
Well, my help is she's keeping her, she has a right under Article 19 of the Maryland Declaration of Rights and our Constitution to recover all the damages caused by these criminals. And, and you only lose when you stop fighting. And she's still fighting. She still is determined as ever. And we've got to get these corrupt judges and lawyers out of our judicial system, period.
And now, does she feel that you helped her?
What? She feel? What did you say again, Glendora?
Did she feel that George McDermott had helped her?
Yeah, I've got video testimony on that. Where she's very grateful for my help.
Oh, good. Okay, now what do you plan to do in the future about this case?
file a claim against Cecil County State Bond, because the Cecil County has to pay for the bond for all officers of the court, state and local. So she's going to file a claim against them in the United States District Court in Delaware, because it's a corporation. And also, I'm still working with the Maryland State Prosecutor's Office, and after the election, we'll have some new head in the Maryland Attorney General's office and the U.S. Attorney's Office. All of these people have, I probably have 5 or 6 bank boxes full of evidence from the first time I met her to today, preserved for the record.
No, well,
If she ever gets her day in court, and she's asked for a jury trial in every proceeding,
and
they won't give it to her.
and what benefit will that do her?
Well, if you file against the state bond, you arrest the bond of the state, of the bond. You arrest the bond of the county or the state. And if you arrest the bond until the county acts in good faith and settles this, it affects their bonding capacity, and they have to resolve it.
Oh, okay.
And court of law.
Okay. Now, I have made a video of everything you have said. Do you have any objection to my playing that on YouTube this afternoon?
No problem whatsoever.
Let me just ask you again. I have made a video.
Yes. No, I do not have any objection whatsoever.
Okay. Okay.
Just put down there that there are 75 programs on her plus at secretjustice.com.
Go one moment, please. There are how many, George McDermott?
Over 75 videos showing from the first day I met her to the last hearing on the 9th of June.
Okay, George, thank you. And what again is the website?
secretjustice.com.
And how do you approach it on your computer?
Just put Secret Justice, George McDermott, put secretjustice.com. Sometimes you have to put George McDermott because it's been hacked by they're making it hard for me to get up there. Now I talked to a new gentleman yesterday, Thursday, who's going to probably transfer my websites to his router, and we're going to start putting some of the 1,500 plus videos I have.
One moment, please. One moment, please. Let's make it clear how people go to your site.
It's secretjustice.com, period. Sometimes it shows up as George McDermott, secretjustice.com, or georgemcdermott.com, but all three of those have, there are a lot of spoof websites about secret justice.
Okay, I'm going to draw the line here. As Mason said to Dixon, you have to draw the line someplace.
That's right.
So I'm drawing the line here. This is Glendora talking to George McDermott on the day after Labor Day, September the 6th, in the year 2022, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. George, I'll talk to you later.
You have a blessed day, Glendora. Thank you very much.
Okay, the time
The
is,
time is 10:12 a.m.
and I believe around 9:30, I started talking to George McDermott. No, I started doing Soul to Soul. And then the telephone rang, and it was George McDermott. And I recorded it. And I asked if I had his permission to play it on YouTube this afternoon. And he said yes. What happened before that? Well, I left the sanctuary and came to the hard work bench and finished the foundation, physical and spiritual, a complete job. I'm over 2 hours late, but I have a feeling that this is what the universe wanted. And we've lost the schedule, and we've lost the work that we usually do. And we're up to glass 2, the second draft. I put the food onto the table, but it's the wrong table. I cannot reach it. I cannot reach the food. So next time, do that right. So Soul to Soul is done. Let's try Wayne. First of all, you talk to God. If it happens, God wants it to happen. If it doesn't happen, God doesn't want it to happen. Where is the love in this situation? Your interview was very, very good. It was very, very well done. Hello, this is Glendora.
Yes, Glendora. Why does this go back? You know, I'm sorry. You know, Patrick, just sing when you go.
You are fine. I hear you fine.
I don't know. I can't get I just got right away.
Okay, this is Suzanne McCormick. We're on September 6th, Labor Day. Hello, Suzanne, it's Glendora.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute, Glendora.
Yeah, Glendora, I just wanted to say good morning to you.
Yeah, very, very nice. Now listen to me carefully, would you please? And get a pencil and paper, please, honey.
Oh, all right. Hold on a minute. I don't have it. Can you hand me that pencil?
I'll give you the whole thing.
It's right there, right on the end.
That work?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yes, Glendora, I'm here.
Okay, I just had a conversation on the phone recorded with my friend George McDermott, who has been fighting the courts longer than you have.
Yeah.
Now, George just gave me a horrible report of the corruption in a Maryland state court.
Yeah.
It's at least a half an hour long. I'm going to put it on YouTube this afternoon.
Oh, good. Great.
And
Yeah.
okay, and my request is that you listen to it.
Okay.
It would be up.
What time would it be up? Oh, you mean, oh, I see. Okay, at the end of the day, probably.
I would hope it would be up before 7 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll do it. Yeah. That's the Maryland State Court, huh? Wow.
Yes, uh-huh.
Yeah, they're all terrible.
Oh, yes, they are.
You know, of course you know. Yeah.
No question about it.
Yeah, it's too bad. I wish something good would happen with this whole thing. But I guess it's going to take time and a lot of work.
Yes.
And you're a big help.
Thank you. And so are you.
You are.
And so are you.
Yeah, I try to contribute, but you're the one who puts it up, you know?
Yes.
So,
And have you heard from Larry as to when your interview today is?
yeah, I think it's going to be like this afternoon, like maybe 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And I think it will be in the afternoon. That's what I heard him say. So,
And what is he going to do with this material?
you know, we wanted to have an agenda, but he said, no, I have it. He wouldn't give any agenda. So I guess it's about similar to events that took place, you know, like I had on your videos maybe.
What is he going to do with it?
Oh, what's he going to do with it? Yeah, edit the transcript. What's he going to do with it?
He's going to do two things, but it'll be part of the article he's writing. And the other thing is, he has a website.
Okay. He said he's going to write, which I heard him say, of course, he is going to try. He's writing an article. And I think there are a couple other people in it besides me.
An article for whom?
For whom he didn't tell us yet.
Where is the article going to appear?
We don't know.
We don't know that yet.
You would go into an interview and you would not know where this article is going to appear?
Yes, but he was in the New York Times. He said no.
He said it will not be in the New York Times, but I don't think at this point he knows exactly where it's going to be.
So this is all if he's
Right.
he's going to do an article and he doesn't have a place for it.
Well, he knows a lot of people because he's a journalist. He knows a lot of people, you know, at Yale and so forth.
One moment,
So-
please. One moment, please. Am I right in assuming that he doesn't have a place for this article?
Okay. He spoke about Rolling Stone. He spoke about The Nation magazine. But he spoke about a couple others that are slipping my mind at this point.
Yeah, and
I understand. Now I understand. He's going to write it and he hopes he can sell it.
well, yeah, I guess you can put it that way, but I guess he knows quite a few people. I don't know.
And now
He also he wants to make a website. He wants to put a website.
if he sells it, are you going to get any part of the proceeds?
Well, no.
Not discussed that.
No, we haven't discussed it yet.
Don't you think you should discuss those things with him?
Well, that's a thought, yeah. I'll bring that up to Patrick, too, because Patrick will help to discuss it also. So, you will bring that up, Patrick. I'll put it on the list. So that's a good idea. Yeah. The proceeds of the sale of it. Right. And in this day and age, don't they just think they're giving you a gift if they put it up? Do you think that or not?
I do not know anything about it, dear. I've had no experience. I've had no experience.
But
My field is television.
Yeah, right.
I don't bother with
Oh.
print. I never bother with print.
Yeah, okay.
Told her about Louisa yesterday.
Oh, yeah, Louisa at the girl we know who's been fighting her case for like 15 years. The same attorney I had for my house that was given to me in a rush, I think I told you that she was taken. He sold her off. He stabbed her in the back, so to speak, and she found out. They have a funding group. She found out that where they put the money, and that's where the lawyers and judges, they put it in this funding.
One moment, please. Who is they?
They are the lawyers that who put it in the funding, Patrick.
Oh, it's a business.
It's a business. Okay, it's a business like a bank that finances.
Like a factory account.
What is the name of this bank?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that.
Don't you think you should know that before you say they?
She's in a hurry. That's not a lot of time.
Yeah, she spoke to us yesterday and she had to run because she had to go to her daughter. So we didn't really get into any discussion about it.
Well,
But I know Larry says that he can get money for me, like in a funding group. I don't really want to get into that. I mean,
what is the name of the funding group?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. I don't know. This is how he gets money from very wealthy people, and then they give him money, and he uses it, and he has to pay it back in periods.
Yes. What is the name of the group? What is the name of the funding group?
GoFundMe. That's it. All I know.
Patrick said all he knows is GoFundMe.
Well, don't you think you should ask Larry a few of these questions?
Yeah, you're right. I'm very inexperienced about this kind of thing, so those are good ideas you're giving. Yes, we should ask.
You're Dutch, and your daddy was Dutch. And
Yeah.
you know that your daddy would have asked him, what is the name of this funding group? Who is in it? Where is it located?
Right. Okay, who is in it?
Yeah, you're a Dutch.
Say, who is in it and where is it? Well, who is in it?
And where is it located, and where are they listed? These are all natural questions that would come to you, dear, if you would stop and think.
Well, yeah, but I think he formed it. He formed this funding, GoFundMe. Didn't he, Patrick? He said he formed it himself. I don't know.
Well, get the address and get the name and get the specs on it. Where is it listed?
Right. Okay.
Okay, now I wanted to ask you, why did you go to CVS when you knew explicitly that Pat was going to meet you at the donut shop? Why did you go to CVS?
No, I think Pat somehow got mixed up because I sent her a text, several of them, and I told her that I would be in front of CVS.
Why? Why didn't you
It
just...
was right, and it was right down the street from the donut store.
Question, why didn't you go to the donut shop where you knew she was going?
Closed.
I thought maybe on Sunday it was closed. I didn't know.
There you are.
Yeah.
It's your speculation.
Well, why do you say I was wrong?
You were wrong. You were wrong. You had an appointment to meet at the donut shop, and like a dumb fool, you went to the CVS.
No, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I told her that I didn't know if the donut shop was open or closed, so I said, why don't we just meet in front of CVS? I put it very plain in the text. And so I waited thinking maybe she was late. And if she had stepped out of the car and looked down the sidewalk, she could see me with my straw hat. It wasn't far from there. It was only 2 stores from the donut store. But, I didn't want to criticize Pat because, why should I make her feel bad? I just said, I did text you that. So if she reviews the text, she'll see it. Send who? Yeah, look, I don't want to go at Pat and make her feel bad. I even said, I think you have a black car. And she didn't answer me. And she had a white car. So I was not in the wrong, Glendora. I was very specific about what I said.
Yes, you were in the wrong. You made it a plan to meet at the donut shop, and that's where you should have met it, no matter whether you speculated it was open or closed.
Okay. All right. Listen, I won't fight about it. I can't
be away from the donut shop.
Next time I'll say the donut shop. It's only 2 stores away from CBS, right in a line with it. On the sidewalk, you can look down and see. But it's okay. Listen, I don't want to blame Pat. I don't want anyone, it's fine. It's not a big issue.
Yeah, it is a big issue because I thought it was nice that you got dressed up and you wore your straw hat and you wore your slacks and you wore your top. You must have looked very nice. What color was it?
My slacks were beige, and I think my top was like a light pink, and I had a beige straw hat on.
Oh, how pretty. What was she wearing?
I don't know. She had a blouse, just a printed blouse on with short pants on.
Uh-huh.
I recall.
Yeah, uh-huh. Did her hair look nice?
Yeah, her hair looked nice. I like the color of it. I wish mine were that color.
Yeah, I do too. I wish mine was that color. What do you think? What color is yours?
It's sort of like a gray. It's salt and pepper, but it's more pepper than salt.
Oh, I see.
No?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's,
I don't know what color mine is. When I cut it each time, I save a piece and put it in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
But I don't know what color it is. And people tell me, and they don't really give me an idea what color my hair is. My mother's was beautiful, pure white like Pat's, and that's what I would like.
Yeah, are they sure that your samples aren't that color, or do they think they're dark? Maybe they're dark.
No, they're not dark anymore, honey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know. I love that white color. I think it's so attractive.
Yeah, she's been that way ever since I've known her 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some people get it and other people don't.
I think...
My mother, yeah.
Go ahead. Your mother had it?
No, she didn't. She had salt and pepper. But she died young. She died at 69. So, but I probably had the same color she got, the more pepper than salt.
I think Patricia Nichols Sarr has the most beautiful eyes.
Oh, you mean the Patricia that we met, that I met?
Yes, Patricia Nichols Sarr is her name.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think she has the most beautiful eyes.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I think she had glasses on when I met her. So I didn't really notice. Yeah.
That was the first, when I met her 15 years ago, that was the first thing I remember about her.
Yeah.
I met her in the library. She was the director of the library, and one of her underlings was trying to help me and not doing much of a job, and she came out of her office and stepped in.
Oh, my God. Well, she seems to be a very nice person. When I meet with her, she's always very... I told her, I said, next time we have to meet and have coffee,
Well, next time I hope you handle it better than you did this time.
Oh, I hope so. I hope I'm a good person and I'm right there at the right place. And I won't text her anymore. I'll just be at the donut store.
Now, so good fortune this afternoon on your interview.
Yeah, I appreciate you telling me, I should ask more questions because I should.
Well,
Should be
absolutely. And when anybody says, well, they did that, or he did that, or she did that, you find out who is they, who is
Right.
he, who is she.
Exactly, yeah.
And please remember to watch the story of the terrible corruption in the courts on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I want to see that. I'll check tonight, and then I'll check again tomorrow night,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
And I hope someday when things calm down that we will do your very good story over again.
Yeah, and we'll have to do it faster than what I do it, right?
No. Now, what was the name of that piece?
What piece do you mean? What piece, Patrick? What piece do you mean, Glendora?
The piece that we lost.
Oh, I don't know the title of it.
All right,
Oh,
well then
yeah.
let us give it a title right now.
A review of the criminality by the bank, by Deutsche Bank. Oh, Bankers Trust / Deutsche Bank.
And White Case.
Oh, yeah, Patrick always said White and Case is at the basis of this. They tell the banks what to do, so we probably should have White and Case's name in there, too.
All right, now let's get together and make a title for it. What White and Case, Deutsche Bank, and who's the third one?
A Bankers Trust / Deutsche Bank, along with advice, with White and Case.
How White and
Oh,
Case?
wait a minute. The Bankers Trust / Deutsche Bank with their attorneys, White and Case.
How they robbed me of my husband's inheritance of $120 million.
Well, I don't know if you should say 120 because actually it's more by now, but originally, I don't know if we should give an amount because there's a big discussion about what amount it was.
All right, 120 is what you think they robbed you of. What do you think they robbed you of?
Well, now, let me tell you the answer. Originally, my husband told me there was $100 million there. Okay. Now, Alex Lehman, in 2002, he's a management consultant, analyzed everything and said by 2002 it would be $120 million. Now, the bank managed to rip it down to $16 million.
Suzanne, what do you think it was?
I believe my husband. I think originally it was $100 million.
Then that is the figure you believe in, and that is the figure we are using. No more discussion.
Absolutely, because I believe my husband.
Now I have the title. How Bankers Trust, Deutsche Bank, and White and Case robbed me of the $100 million that my husband left me.
Right.
That is the title of this program.
Do you think you should say 75 million or?
I told you we're sticking with $100 million. Is what your husband told you.
That's right. He did.
We're sticking with it.
I hope so.
That's what we hope. $100 million. Yeah. He told me a month before he died. Right. Mm-hmm.
And okay, honey. Now,
Yeah.
will you get out the healings and read me a healing, please?
Yes, I had the book. What did I do with the book? Oh, here. Okay, I've got it. I read one yesterday, too. Hmm. Well, here's not such a long one. This is where I had my marker. The textbook healed me. For 12 years previous to the fall of 1897, I had been under the care of a physician much of the time. Different opinions were given by them as to the nature of the trouble, some diagnosing it as an abnormal growth, etc. I was healed through reading Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mrs. Eddy. It was a clear case of transformation of the body by the renewal of the mind. I am perfectly well at the present time. And the initials are JMH of Omaha, Nebraska.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it was the renewal of the mind and the
Yeah.
transformation of the body. Yeah.
Would you write that down? The transformation by renewal of the mind. Could you write that down somewhere? The transformation. I'll wait for you to write it, dear.
Transformation
By
by
renewal.
Of the mind.
Yeah. Let us both remember that.
Yeah, that's a very good quotation. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. No, that encourages me so much. I'm indebted to you for reading that to me.
Yeah, it makes you, when you realize that other people have been successful, it really it increases your belief that you always had, really.
You are so right, Suzanne McCormick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Mason said to Dixon, you have to draw the line somewhere. I'm drawing the line here right now, dear. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
Oh, hi, Wayne. I'm disappointed that I don't have the opportunity to talk to you. Let's see, the two of us ought to put our heads together and see if we can't dispense with this problem. You like to do everything in the morning. You like to go out early in the morning to do it. I really have to do it in the morning because I am occupied with people that I'm paying $15 to, and it ends up to be $1,000. I have to take care of those people. I can't just be chit-chatting on the phone. So let us put our heads together and find out a time. I can't do it in the afternoon, and you can't do it in the morning. I can do it in the morning, and I can do it in the morning, and you can't do it in the afternoon. Or I can't do it, well, whatever. And also, the best thing of yesterday, one of the very best things of yesterday was the happiness that we brought you and that the lady who wrote the letter brought you. You were so ecstatic And that was one of the best things that we did for the world yesterday.
The time is 10:42 a.m.
Drink the water, the third glass. This is the day that Caleb is going into the Marines. Maybe I'll be able to talk to April today. Maybe. I have an hour before, or 3/4 an hour before Madeline. What is 4?
Thank you for calling NYSARC Trust Services. If you would like access to our automated response system to verify your most recent transactions, please press 8. You will need the account number and the beneficiary's PIN number in order to use this service. The PIN number is the last 4 digits of the beneficiary's Social Security number. You can also access account information as well as trust documents and forms 24/7 using our online portal from your desktop or mobile device. To sign up, visit portal.nysarctrustservices.org. Please hold for the next available customer service representative. Your call may be recorded for quality assurance and training purposes. Thank you.
All operators are currently assisting other callers. Please have your account number and last 4 digits of your Social Security number ready, and a customer service representative will be with you shortly. Thank you.
Start Trust Services. My name is Becky. May I have the account number, please?
Becky, it's Glendora.
Hey, Glendora, how are you?
Very good, Becky. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was really good. It was really good.
Oh, good. All I want to know, honey, is how much cash was in the trust on September 1st or August 31st.
Okay, well, what's your account number?
Okay, why do I have to say that every time, Becky?
It's just part of the job. It's just part of the, you know.
I'm going to
Call any other company, I always have to give from, like, my health insurance. They ask for a lot more. That's for your name, address, phone number. We always need it just to verify.
221 403 67
In the last four of your social?
6759. Can't you write that on the wall somewhere, honey?
With Glendora, I would still have to ask you. It's just part of the. It's part of the security.
Okay,
We have.
I'm going to ask Mr. Wade why.
What's that?
I'm going to ask Mr. Wade why.
It was put in place when the trust was open 50 years ago. It's like that with any company you call to verify who you are and who's calling. Because if somebody called in with your information
Yes,
and
that's
they weren't
right.
listed as a contact, we wouldn't be able to speak with them. So at least we have to get the right information
Okay.
to help you.
Okay. All right, sweetheart. Is there any way you can tell me on August the 31st how much cash I had in the trust?
Let's see. On August 31st, you had called and it was $199.88.
Good girl. Thank you.
Yeah?
That's all I have to know, honey.
Okay, no problem.
I have a funny joke.
Okay.
A Eskimo daddy was sitting in his igloo reading nursery rhymes to his Eskimo son, and the Eskimo daddy said, "Little Jack Horner sat in a corner." And the Eskimo son said, "Daddy, what's a corner?"
Oh, that's true. They don't have corner. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it is. Take care of yourself. I love you.
Oh, you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The number you dialed is not in service.
Hello. You have reached 914-613-4565. I'm sorry, but we can't come to the phone right now. But if you would leave a message and your number, we will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you for calling.
Hi, dear friend. An Eskimo daddy was sitting in his igloo reading nursery rhymes to his Eskimo son. The Eskimo daddy said, "Little Jack Horner sat in a corner." And the Eskimo son said, "Daddy, what is a corner?" And Louis Conway of West Nyack told me yesterday that he thought yesterday was a good day for him to mail in your material. Maureen Shepherd is a constant do not answer. I would like from you a copy of her other telephone number if she has one, and a copy of her email. I am going to call Doug Heron this very moment and ask, well, it'll probably be a recorder. He's not very good at answering the phone. And I also, Grady Hearn has been nothing but a full mailbox for a week now. Tomorrow is the day that I get to talk to Robert Jackson. Whoopee!
Hello?
Well, Grady Hearn, where have you been?
Hey, Glendora, how's it going?
100%, honey.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Where have you been? Why haven't you called me back?
Sorry, I was camping for a couple days, and then I was at home, and I just didn't really have my phone on me for most of the time.
Those are hardly very good excuses, dear.
I know, I'm sorry, Glendora. I just didn't have my phone on me. I was trying to stay away from my phone.
Well, you do a very good job of that, let me tell you. I'll give you a raise on that one, honey.
Sorry about that, Glendora.
No, okay. What is happening with my program in Norwalk?
Well, I'll tell you what. I finally got a hold of them, and they said, we don't want to. I said, would you please sign these papers? And they said, we're too busy. We don't have time to take on the responsibility of that. And I said, it's not, I assured them that it's not a lot of responsibility. I said, it's no problem. Just please sign the paperwork. And they just said, we're sorry. We can't.
The time
Okay,
is
just a
11
minute,
o'clock
honey.
a.m.
Hold on. Just a minute. Thank you very much. I realize your position, and I praise you for your try, and I thank you. I'm sorry that they're like that. The greatest thing you can do in life is to help somebody else.
That's right.
And I'm sorry that they turned out to be duds.
Yeah. So if I see them, I'll ask them again about it. But they were.
No, I would not. I would never ask them about it again. They aren't worth it.
Okay.
They've made their choice. They made the wrong choice. They're going to pay for it. No. You've done your work, and I want to thank you.
Sure thing.
No. All right. Now tell me, on your rest, what came out of it? Any good thought? Any good messages?
Well, yes. We went to Charlotte and I camped out at Macedonia State Park in that is in Kent, Connecticut, and I just felt like it was good to be out in nature.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
So very connected, and just did some meditation, and I didn't have to work for 3 days. So I was able to kind of just reflect on things and...
All right. Now, what came out of this reflection? What came out of this meditation? Anything that you can pass on? No.
I can't think of anything right now, but I'm sure that some stuff came up. I'll have to get back to you on that. But yes, that was this past 3 days. And yeah, that was, how about you?
I'm not through with you yet.
Okay.
Did the dog go with you?
No, the dog didn't go. There were no dogs allowed at the campground.
Oh, no dogs allowed. Okay.
Yeah.
You heard about one family, they changed things around this summer. They sent the dog to summer camp and they sent the kids to obedience school. Okay. Now, what are you going to do today, dear?
Well, I am at the office today. I'm on my way to the post office right now to send out footage to one of our clients. And
I bet you're glad of that it's done.
yeah. So
And what else are you going to do now?
today I have some meetings and some editing to do.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Have you heard from any of our TV stations?
I heard from one of them. They said they weren't getting. This was probably a week or two ago, though. They said that they were not getting new episodes, and I said that I had uploaded them, and then they said that this was Bethany, I think. Oh, and they gave me a new link, and then that worked.
Oh,
They said
that's good
They
news.
said something was wrong. Something was wrong with their own Dropbox.
Good for you, Mr. Grady Hearn. And what TV station was that?
That was Bethlehem, I think.
Bethlehem. And there was something wrong with their link.
Yeah, they said that they didn't get any programs, and I said that I uploaded them, and they said, oh, we've had some other people have the same problem, and we found out what was wrong, so here's the new link, and they sent it to me, and that seemed to work.
You are a hero. Thank you for that. Anybody else?
No, everyone else just said thank you, and it seemed to work.
Oh, good news. When do you have to send up programs again? Would it be the fourth Thursday of September? Yes. Yes, it would be. Write it down, please.
Sure.
The fourth Thursday, no, excuse me, write it down. The third Thursday of September.
Third Thursday, okay.
Did you write it down?
Yeah.
And do you have programs to send them?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have 2-hour programs to send them?
I might not have 2-hour programs. I'll double check, and then if not, I'll ask Victoria.
Yes. Thank you. Please do that. If I had able to see, I would write that down, but I'm not able to see, honey.
Sure, I'll write that down. I'll talk to Victoria.
Thank you. Now, the thing with Pittsfield, what's the last thing I told you about Pittsfield Public Access TV not playing my show on TV?
You told me that they are playing it again.
Anything else? Oh, I told you they were playing it?
Yeah, they said it was a good victory. He said it was a victory for America.
Oh, it was. It's a victory for Americanism, first of all, believing in the traditions and the aims and the goals of being an American. They didn't get by with it.
I saw that you made a post on YouTube recently about Americanism. And what do you mean by Americanism?
The traditions, the beliefs, the aims, in the goals of America. Do you believe in them?
Yeah, of course.
Do you believe in letting anybody walk over them?
No.
Do you believe in standing up for them?
Yes.
So that's what happened in Pittsfield.
Yep.
Americanism won. I told them that I would sue them in the United States Supreme Court for $23 million, punitive and compensatory damages. Punitive that they would never do this again to anybody, and compensatory to pay me for the stress that it caused and the damage that it caused public access.
And so what did they say? Did they just say, okay, we'll play your show, or they just played it without saying anything to you?
Well, that question does not apply because they never talked to me.
They never talked to you about anything.
So I went on YouTube and I outlined the lawsuit. And I told them that they could be sued in the Supreme Court of the United States. I did not have to go to the local court, United States District Court in Albany, because it was a matter of civil rights. And any civil rights action can be brought as an original action in the Supreme Court of the United States. You can skip the district courts.
Yep.
That would cost them at the least $34,000 to defend whether I won or not. And I told them that this was a matter of free speech, that the last fortress of free speech in the United States is the soapbox, the sidewalk soapbox. And I told them that Title 13 of the United States Code, Section 531, etc., said very clearly that public access is an electronic soapbox.
That's right.
You don't fool around with a soapbox in the United States of America.
Exactly. Even the internet is censored these days.
And so when I said this, when I outlined the whole lawsuit on YouTube, and really actually said it almost verbatim, I called the so-called executive director of Pittsfield Community TV, and I said, I put on the YouTube just now that I'm going to sue you in the United States Supreme Court. And I think this is a program that you should be watching. That afternoon, I got a call, and they started to negotiate.
Really?
Oh, I also said, who are the defendants? I said, number one, you are the lead defendant. No, I said Pittsfield Community TV is a lead defendant. You will go down in the courts as Pittsfield Community TV. You will be the second defendant. The mayor of the city will be the third defendant, and the city itself will be the fourth defendant because they are run by the city. They are financed by the city. The city gets their money from Spectrum, from Time Warner, it used to be. Time Warner has to pay them 5% of their total revenue for the privilege of running their cable lines along the right-of-way of the city of Pittsfield. So the city finances them, so that makes them a state actor. You cannot sue anybody by the Constitution of the United States unless they are a government worker. Nobody can infringe upon your free speech except the government, because the law says Congress shall make no law against the freedom of speech. So it has to be a government that you sue, but they very neatly fit into the government's pocket.
Yep.
And so that that YouTube thing, you ought to go back and really see it. And so that afternoon, within 2 or 3 hours, they started negotiating, and within 2 weeks they had the program on TV, and it was on Saturday morning.
Wow.
And it was a beautiful program. Wayne was in it, talking about the early history of Pittsfield back in the 50s, before General Electric pulled out. And Victoria was on it telling her life story in video. It's a beautiful program.
I'll check that out too.
Thank you, honey.
Well, that's all good news.
Yes, now you know what Americanism is.
Yep.
You stand up for America. Public access isn't something that a little director of a tiny TV station owns and decides whether he's going to have you on or not. Public access belongs to the public. And there are 3 laws on that: federal, state, and municipal. And they broke the law.
Yeah, they did.
Hence, they were almost sued. And they would have been sued, there's no question. It would only have cost me $350 to file the lawsuit. That's all it cost in the Supreme Court of the United States. And I'm amazed at that. They haven't upped the price in the last 20 years. Okay, my dear friend, what can I do for you?
I think we're good, Glendora. Good to talk to you.
Okay, honey. Thank you for taking care of Bethlehem.
Sure.
All right. So you have until the 3rd Thursday, get them up, and I will have to ask Victoria to send you 2-hour programs, right? 4 2-hour programs, correct?
That's right.
Okay, honey.
All right, Glendora. Talk to you soon.
Oh, you bet. I have a joke for you.
Okay.
An Eskimo daddy was sitting in his igloo reading nursery rhymes to his Eskimo son, and the Eskimo daddy said, "Little Jack Horner sat in a corner." And the Eskimo son said, "Daddy, what is a corner?" Take care, my friend.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, we're back with them. And God will give us the answer.
The time is 11:16 a.m.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Patricia Barr is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
The welcoming committee is all dressed up in their finest, and the bands are dressed up in their uniforms, and they're all ready to play their announcement when you arrive. Hey Google, call Kim Belfour. Speakerphone.
Calling Kim Balfour. Mobile.
Good for you, Google. I'm so glad you're with us.
Available. Please try again later. El cliente de servicio móvil al que llama no se encuentra disponible. Favor de intentar más tarde. Message 1. US01LV. The wireless customer you called is not available at this time. Please try your call again later. Announcement 1. The wireless customer you called is not available at this time. Please try your call again later. Announcement 1.
Hey Google, call Camp Hill. Speakerphone, please. I have to write Walter a letter. I don't want my life to be all these nitpicks. I don't want to spend all day doing this. But you are helping others. That's what you spend your day doing. Hey Google, call Daisy's Cafe. Speakerphone. Hey Google, call Daisy's Cafe. Okay, then try to find the food. And try to find your sandwich. Or try to finish that. Try to find that table. Table, where are you? Glendora, you put it on the wrong table. Oh, good. You dropped the fork. Well, the fork is by your foot. This floor is so dirty. Okay, so you mishandled that. And you mishandled the light. And you've got to take your sixth drink and you should go to the bathroom. And you've lost your clock again. And again, the water is at fault. The water covers up the corner of the left tower.
The time is 11:28 a.m.
Turn off the... You're not going to record, Madeline. No. Yes, I am. Okay, dig in with your finger. I do not want any more of this. Well, that's enough macaroni and cheese for a long time.
Hi, you've reached Maddie in Every Cat Town. Please know we are not a shelter. We cannot accept the surrender of your companion animal. If you need some info on low-cost spay and neuter,
The time is
back to the return.
11:33 a.m.
Message, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, you've reached Maddie in Every Cat Town. Please know we are not a shelter. We cannot accept the surrender of your companion animal. If you need some info on low-cost spay and neuter and anything trap neuter return, feel free to leave a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. We did not get your message either because you were not speaking or because of a bad connection. To disconnect, press 1. To record your message, press 2. Are you still there? To disconnect, press 1. To record your message, press 2. Are you still there? To disconnect, press 1. To
you've reached Maddie in Every Cat Town. Please know we are not a shelter. We can
Okay. On the checkout list, would you please make sure that there's a peanut butter sandwich with jelly on rye on the work disk, and that... Hello.
Morning, Glenn. How are you?
Oh, hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. What's been going on?
Not too much. Waiting for Bill to come over and turn the water back on.
Oh, is he there working?
Well, I don't know if he can do anything except turn it on. I would hope he would be working on it, but I don't necessarily know that he will.
I'm so sorry you have that problem.
Well, it's okay. We're getting it straightened out. Hopefully it'll be done soon.
God bless you, hon.
Yeah.
I think I would like to make an appointment with Dr. Mary, and I would like to ask her, I need my certification for 6 months for Medicaid, and the only other thing I would like to have is a physical therapist come to my home.
Okay. All right, we can call her.
Well, very nice, Madeline. Thank you.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let me just get rid of your spam.
I appreciate that.
Not a problem. Okay. Ready?
Did you hear about the undertaker who signed all of his letters? Eventually yours.
Oh, gosh, that's kind of eerie. All right. Okay. In there. And all right, this is from Nate Dion.
I think I know who that is, dear.
You said to him, "Thank you for cable casting Pastor Persona's vital message every week." What Bible book is he on now? And he said, "Hi, Glendora. I hope this email finds you well. These are the titles of the most recent episodes that Pastor Stonas has sent me last month. Numbers 21, 1 through 9. Numbers 21, 10 through 35. Numbers 22, 1 through 40. numbers 23, 24.
Thank
Okay.
you, Madeline. What TV station is he?
Nutmeg TV?
Oh, Nutmeg TV.
Yeah.
Oh, how very nice. Nate, you are doing such a good deed for the world. Would you write him back that, hon?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's in Farmington, Connecticut, dear. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't. Okay. Anything else?
You are a blessing, period. Send.
Okay. It is sent.
What's your favorite bread?
My favorite bread?
I guess it's bagels. You don't eat any bread, do you?
I don't eat much bread. I like, they make these pretzel rolls. I like them.
Yeah.
And I like focaccia bread also.
What kind?
It's called focaccia.
How do you spell it?
Foccia, focaccia.
I think the next time you get bagels, will you get me a rye bagel?
I don't think they make rye bagels, Plenty.
You don't think so? What makes you
No.
say that?
Because I've never seen them there.
Okay. Try.
They gluten-free.
Anyway, ask
I'll
him.
try. I will. I'll try.
The only bread I really like is rye.
Uh-huh. I like rye bread. Yeah.
And you know, it's very different from wheat. I was reading about it in
Yeah.
in the encyclopedias. It's very different. It's very much a Poland thing, you know.
Mhm.
The Polish people use rye instead of wheat.
Mhm. All right. You don't have anything on Facebook. Let me look at your Twitter notification. And we're done with your emails. That's all you had.
Oh, no emails?
Just the one that we did.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Alexa, tell me my to-do list.
You have 2 items on your to-do list.
Listen to
Victoria
this,
the
honey.
tripod and Victoria.
Tell me my to-do list. Hey, Alexa, tell me my to-do list.
You have 2 items on your to-do list. Victoria the tripod and Victoria.
Thank you. Isn't that fun, Madeline?
That's pretty good.
It might help your memory. Do you think it might be a help to your memory?
Well, you know, I write things down. All right, so let's look at this. There were no Twitter, no. Okay, so what else do you want to look at, Glennie?
YouTube.
Yeah, I'm there. You have new ones on the 5th.
Okay, Madeline, a note, footnote.
What's
The
that?
one that I put up this morning
Uh-huh.
is a report of the corruption in the court, how the lawyers and the judges steal people's property that their parents have left them.
Yeah.
And it's long, honey. It's like a half an hour long.
Yeah.
Okay, just telling you.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the name of it is called How Inheritors Lose Their Property to Lawyers and Judges.
Okay.
Okay, huh?
Is there anything else you want to see?
No thanks, and I think you're up to 13,830, aren't you, around there?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. All
Okay.
right, Lenny, I'm gonna go because I'm doing cat dance today, so.
Okie dokie.
All righty. All right, you have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, talk to you later.
Okay, to the bathroom. Very, very good.
The time is 12 o'clock p.m. time is 12:25 p.m.
Hello, and thank you for calling the Christian Science Sentinel Watch telephone line. Press 1 to begin this week's Sentinel Watch broadcast. This service is brought to you by the churches of the greater Phoenix area. We encourage you to contact us. Place your comments, questions, or donations.
Welcome to this edition of Sentinel Watch. I'm welcoming to the program Margaret Rogers, a Christian Science practitioner and teacher from Berkeley, California. Hi, Margaret.
Hi, nice to be with you.
Lovely to speak with you. And so we've got a subject on our minds that we're going to address today, which is basically a subject on a lot of people's minds. And it's the concern about the climate and what it's been doing recently and what it's predicted to do in the future. But it's one of those subjects where you're not going to solve everything in a half-hour podcast, but what is it we can offer that can help people square up to this issue in a way that just enables them to feel more empowered?
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a problem that can just feel overwhelming, too big for us to really feel that maybe we individually can make much of a difference. But I think that's the first thing to see through, that we can. I think so often what we need to be doing when we feel like there's a problem that's overwhelming is just seeing what simple thing can I do to contribute. And probably the most important thing we can do is to think more about how can I love